Now, we discussed in a previous video about some of the biggest mistakes that you can make as a cryptocurrency investor, and one of the main ones that we covered was confirmation bias. Now, to recap, confirmation bias is pretty much when you are invested in a token and you end up kind of married to it. So you're consistently looking for the nice, happy, positive videos about it, and you avoid any that may shine a slightly negative light on it. And after I noticed through YouTube, I've realised that this is exactly what I do with ICP. But I've seen more and more videos showing the kind of counter sides of it, that maybe what we could consider as a slight downside at the moment of it. And I was avoiding them because I didn't want to hear it. And I also realised that in the previous ICP videos I've done. So I've always tried to be very balanced in the videos and provide kind of the advantages, disadvantages, pros and cons, whatever you want to call it. And I think in the ICP videos I pretty much just focused on the positives. So today we're going to be taking another look into the positive sides of ICP, but also some of the downsides and why it could be a slightly weaker project. Let's jump into it. So first we'll have a quick recap on Internet Computer for anybody who's new to it. So ICP, or Internet Computer Protocol, aims to revolutionize the internet by decentralizing its infrastructure. So instead of relying on a few large companies like Amazon and Google for cloud services, ICP envisions a network where independent data centers worldwide collaborate. So these data centers, acting like specialized room for storing and processing information, would collectively form a robust alternative to the current centralized cloud services. So in essence, it's a technical shift towards a more distributed and collaborative model for the internet. So first of all, we're going to discuss the portions of ICP which support the project and its potential for its growth. So first up, we of course have the decentralized internet infrastructure. So ICP aims to create a decentralized internet and global computing system, which is often an alternative to traditional cloud services. So the easiest example that I can really give of this is that if you built a website upon ICP, you would be in complete control of this, and there's no risk of this being shut down out of the blue, which is obviously a huge benefit to the users. And the next positive we have is the scalability. So scalability is spoken about a lot in cryptocurrency-based projects. However, Internet Computer is creating a network of interconnected data centers, potentially providing a more scalable solution than some of our existing blockchain networks. Now, there is a whole lot of positives which I think have been spoken to death about by most of the YouTubers. So the last one I'm going to touch base on is the potential for innovation with Internet Computer. So this lies in its ability to provide a unique and open environment for developers to explore and create decentralized applications and services. So ICP's decentralized architecture provides the perfect grounds for innovation, empowering developers to rethink and reimagine the possibilities of decentralized applications and services. So the combination of smart contracts, interconnected data centers, and communication collaboration contributes to the platform's potential to drive significant advancements in decentralized technology space. So then we shall go over my least favourite part, which is the negatives, and these have been brought to light for me by other YouTube videos, if I'm completely honest, and I never even would have considered looking into the downsides of the project, and that is something that I probably need to work on with myself. So the number one concern that has been raised, and really does have some kind of grounds to it, is whether the internet is already decentralized and whether ICP can significantly enhance the decentralization of it. So the internet as it is currently is a hardware infrastructure and is based on a decentralized idea. So it can already be cut into pieces and it will still continue to function. There is no center to the internet but a collection of computers that agree on a protocol. However, the current use of the internet is centralized, so the companies that own the most routers and connections are traditional money-making entities, and this is what contributes to the centralization of it. So can Internet Computer build a more decentralized internet? So I would say it's not a case of if it can be done, because I think that those that are behind Internet Computer have proven that they are determined and they will make it happen. But I think it would be more a case of how the adoption for this would go. So the current level of adoption does align with expectations for the developmental stage, and it primarily involves early adopters and investors who recognise the significant potential and comprehend the vision of it. And they also have confidence in developers to fulfill their commitments to developing ICP as a whole. So the limited range of services and features probably do not currently attract a broader audience, but it is anticipated to enhance considerably in the coming years. And again, this is a project that is at the very, very early stages of a super long roadmap. So I think that this is something that would be overcome as the project continues to develop. And as we're still in the early stages, we can't expect to see a huge amount of adoption as people are still gaining trust in it. Now, another of the things that we do need to consider revolves around whether the mechanisms in place, such as the token burning, are robust enough to effectively counteract the inflationary pressures of ICP. So the burn-in mechanism is a process where tokens are intentionally removed from circulation, and is one method which is used by ICP to try to counteract the inflation. By reducing the total supply, it aims to create the scarcity and potentially support the token's value. However, the burning of the token so far has not been overly exceptional, and I think that the burn mechanism for this likely will not be effective until there's been more people onboarded into it. But again, I think it's another thing that will improve over time. As it's such an early project, as it increases in adoption, we can expect to see the burn-in mechanism speed up for this. Now, the final potential downside that has come to my attention is that there's also been concerns raised over the potential for centralization within the nodes of ICP. Now, the nodes play a vital role in the decentralization of blockchain networks and contribute to the consensus mechanisms and the overall network security. So if a substantial number of nodes on the ICP network are concentrated in the hands of specific institutions or entities, it does raise concern about centralization. And the main concern here is that the majority of the limited nodes that are currently on ICP are held by big venture capitalist companies. Now, they're obviously going to hold on to these nodes because they are, of course, making a lot in ICP, but it can lead to some questions regarding the prospect of decentralization if a few major companies are holding on to such a big majority of it. So overall, ICP presents a visionary approach to decentralizing the internet and joining early adopters and investors with potential for innovation. However, it is crucial that we do consider the concerns that have been raised, including the doubts about achieving decentralization, questions on the tokenomics, and of course the potential for centralization within the nodes. As the project evolves, I think that addressing these concerns will be key in determining the true impact of ICP on the future of the internet and how we can expect to see the project develop. Overall, I still have a very strong belief in the project, and I think that a lot of the concerns that have been raised will be resolved as the project becomes more advanced and established. As it's all still in the very early stages, it's very difficult to ascertain exactly how it can be achieved. So just remember that informed decisions and a balanced perspective are key in navigating any kind of cryptocurrency investment or just investments in general, really. Let me know how you think that these challenges can be overcome in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye!